Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Magic the Gathering Arena. This time we are going to be playing Historic Brawl as promised in the last episode, and hopefully this time things go a little bit more right. Last time I tried to record this video, I had this deck I was playing with, and this deck was a little fun idea I had while looking at the Elas Il Core card. And I thought it was an interesting idea, and because I didn't have the, well, actual cards to go with the commander, like a lot of people that have been playing this game for a while might, which is why this is called the Budget Commander Show. I figured, you know what, I could probably take him into a couple of commander games and see what happens. I've recorded that episode and it will not be going live. However, that's mostly because of something that this commander is unfortunately subject to having a relatively engine-like ability and a small mana cost, known as Heck Q, or other people might use another word for it, but in short, I really only got paired against very specific decks, very scummy decks, and very specific types of people, which I will probably be going over in a later video as to why Historic Brawl can be so life-taking. You get the joke, right? If a creature I control dies, each opponent loses one life, and Warlock class. Anyway, life gain, life drain. Jokes aside, instead of running that deck, I will try and get more wild cards to collect after I finish making this deck down here. Of course, I will try to make the Pilgrimage deck a good deck. But until then, today's episode will be about Ajani, a sleeper Wincon, which, in my opinion, is a very, very okay card. He's not like strong, he's not like Miram, where Miram comes in and doubles every dragon that comes onto the battlefield. It's not like he's the Pilgrim Elas Ilkor, where anytime something enters the battlefield, you gain a life, and anytime it dies, the enemy loses a life. He's very simple, straightforward, and what Planeswalker decks should realistically be in Commander. Let's read off what he is. He is a completed Planeswalker, and so that little optional mana that can be green or white can also be paid with life. But if it is, he starts with 2 less counters on that, which we could do, but that's not the focus of this deck. That's probably a different themed deck that you could definitely get away with considering the life gains and the Defiler of cards. So most of the time we'll be playing Ajani for 4 mana. He will be not completed, but he will be providing us a near infinite amount of card draw, as 2 cards in this deck are non-creatures. And 57 of them are, and the rest are lands. So anytime I plus with Ajani, there is a very good chance that I hit a creature and get to draw a card and continue the advantage that I'm going to be losing in terms of hand size. If I'm ever in a bad spot, like I'm just throwing out cards, trying to go for a beatdown game, because rather than leaning back, like, let's say it's a black-blue commander that transforms whenever, like, a Kraken comes onto the battlefield and it makes Kraken cards do more damage and have trample, then I could always play Ajani for cheaper, +1, and then -3 to distribute 3 +1/+1 counters amongst 3 target creatures. They gain vigilance until end of turn, so I get to swing in and have something to hold back. And even, let's say Ajani's under threat, but I want to also swing in, I can -3, have them with vigilance, swing in, and hold back. The -6 is the sleeper win con that everyone tends to look over. Whenever you cast a creature or a planeswalker spell, target opponent gets 2 poison counters. This wasn't initially what I wanted to win with when I made this deck, Poison counters are a traditionally unliked thing amongst the Magic the Gathering community, as sometimes you can just lose the game because someone played a 2-drop, gave it haste, swung in, and because you're playing a control deck and you don't have removal yet, and you have tapped lands because you're a control grindy deck, you just lose. And if they're playing like a Burn Gruul deck with poison, then you just kind of lose because everything gets removed and you get poisoned and there's nothing you can do about it. Even if you have hexproof, even if you counter every spell after the poison card, if you can't block it, then you're just dead on board, which comes to a creature-centric meta. If you play your creatures, then hey, those creatures can block the poisoners, and those poisoners are no longer as affected. But if you ever get to -6 as ajani, there is nothing they can do. They can counterspell it, they can block it, they can do anything, but it will not stop the poison. And fortunately, because it is a sleeper Wincon, something that you'd imagine to be popular but is secretly not, ajani is not yet in Heck Q. Ajani is currently in that middle stages where he plays against some pretty good decks, like a very specific deck that I had in mind, that I got to experience. The Katibrai Mithril deck, where she just gets bonuses for being equipped. The entire deck is equipment, and it's just her. Now, of course, there can be more than that, but she is a Ultron deck. The deck centers around her. I think it's Ultron or Voltron. I'm not a Magic the Gathering content creator. But to decks like that, we will probably lose because they just get value after value after value after value with each and every card that they play. But that is a rare deck to come across, and even though we might see it on our channel on the next Historic Brawl video, this current video is about playing cheap creatures, life gaining occasionally about it, doing absolutely nothing but waiting until our ajani can emblem, playing the equivalent of cantrips to activate the poison counters, and any time that I'm low, I just play ajani again, get a new card in my hand, and that brings me even closer to being able to play the poison counters. We have a relatively low curve with the highest creature medium being 3-drops because of the amount of value cards in here. Like the 3/3 with a reach and ward 1 that ventures into a dungeon whenever we play a creature and then creates wolf tokens on the dungeons that we've completed. A 1/4 reacher, something that gains life, something that gains life, something that modifies, which can be important in this deck because it has a sub-theme of modification, something that just is good if you get to play it with full health in Historic Brawl, something that can protect, something with reach and training, something that can tap and fly for a 2/3 as a blocker and an attacker. You'll notice more and more with this deck that it isn't necessarily focused on beating up like most ajani decks might be, because if you throw ajani in a 60-card deck, you're going to get beat up. This deck is a lot with a heavy sub-theme of life gain, which a lot of people are going to be going, ew, Celestial life gain. I get it, I hate it, but that's not what we're trying to do. We're not putting counters on things because we gain life. We're just trying to gain a life so they can't do anything. Because if they hit us for 11 when we have 46 life and they have 6 poison counters, next turn we just win. And that's what the sub-theme is about. Just winning. Just having that Wincon and gaining life. Here's the only learn card. You don't need a sideboard in Historic Brawl. It can dig. It can even choose not to learn, since it sacrifices a beautiful body that can just gain us a life every turn. And, of course, we have some 4-mana cards that we can't forget. A good Enlister if you're not attacking, a good +1, a good just Protector, just a really good card, the best card, in my opinion. Join the Broodmoth cult. Wandering Emperor, because poison counters go with Planeswalkers, and Wandering Emperor is a strong 4-mana flasher. Gem Razor for enchantment removal or artifact removal, or just being a reacher 4/4 with trample. Ashtara to be really, really annoying. And all of our endgame cards, in case we ever have a surplus of mana and we don't know what to use for it, and we just happen to draw one of these. Elder Gargaroth is just value whenever it's played. The Ranger is really funny. It doesn't compete with Elder Gargaroth for the amount of mana that it is, but I like it. It's a 4/1 Reacher with a 2/2 Green Wolf, and look at that good boy right there. Ooh, I want to pet him. Uh, Angelic Quartermaster putting counters on things with the light sub theme of Modify. Titan of Industry also helping with Modify, since I think shield counters count. Gaining life, destroying artifacts or enchantments, creating a 4/4 token, putting a shield counter on something, having reach, having trample. It's a solid card. If you're putting, if you're a green deck, try and put Titan of Industry in it. I get that some green decks are like werewolves and beat up early game, but if you're a green deck that can spare it, that goes farther than turn 4 with your engines or with your gasoline known as card advantage, play Titan of Industry. You will love it. Yeah, it's a mythic, but it's one of the best mythics. And when it goes out of rotation, that will not change for Explorer, for Historic Brawl. It will stay prevalent, I think, because it just has so many options. It's a 7/7 for 7 mana that you can ramp into with artifacts, with other green things like creatures that tap for mana. It's just really, really good. So trust me, Titan of Industry is something you want. You can even cheat it in Explorer decks. Explorer decks a year ago did. I think it was a year ago. I don't know when Explorer debuted, I forgot. But when Explorer decks debuted, had Titan of Industry and Transmorgify, as well as a bunch of other cards that would make tokens in it, so that you would always hit Titan of Industry, because it was that good. So please, 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 please take a look at it. But that is basically our deck. Flyers, controlish, being able to deal with things, gaining life, protecting ajani, ultimating ajani, and just hitting our poison counters. So let's not hesitate and let's get straight into it today. Frick. Don't look. I'm not bronze. Shush. Oh, it's Frog Day. It's a really fun Frog Day. I recorded a Gargle Frog video before this, and honestly, I feel like it highlights a lot of the issues with Magic players just going for the meta, and then if they don't get it, they leave. Which, trust me, I fall into as well. I'm not exempt from this, but I'm not gonna go more into that. The fact that you can play a frog, eat something, and make the frog funny is awesome. So it seems like our first game is going to be against Tovolar. Tovolar decks tend to be really, really harsh. I don't think we can win with this sort of hand. We're going to be beat down before Honor Troll can do anything. We don't have any whites for early game. Titan of Industry, as awesome as I ramped it up to be, we won't be able to play it, so we're going to pass or get our free mulligan. Enjoy this one a lot more. Get the Scaled Nurturer on the field. Try and ramp into Broodmoth. Play Valkyrie. If something dies, play Life Goes On. Just gain an abysmal amount of life for 1 mana. Don't know why they made it like that. Don't really care. It's an awesome card. There's a lot of baller cards, and a difficulty that I find when playing Explorer or Historic Brawl is that there are just so many good cards that you could have. So many of them. You could have an Ajani deck with the same theme, with the same idea of this one, with a completely different set of 100 cards, even in Arena. Not even on paper, in Arena. Because there are just that many cards in this game. Look at that moth animation. God, the dust it leaves behind. It's mystical. But I just love that. If you feel like you can improve on any of these decks, please feel free to, because you can. I believe in you. I think you can definitely improve on these decks. But this turn, we are going to play Ajani for the normal mana cost. Tap our O2 blocker because we still have a Mothra. Do ourselves a +1. Draw into a 1/4 Reacher. No attack in case of a haste. I want Ajani to ultimate as soon as possible. But next turn, I think we have things set up. They might play Tovlar. They might play something else. There it is. The Menace Daybound, no haste. Unusual. Very, very unusual. So let's see. It gains +2/+2, so I want to try and play something with... Do I want to try and play something with more? I have access to 4 mana in my hand. I want to draw into that land. Unusual, I know, but... What do I want to play? I think I want to play... I don't think I want to play that. He gains... I have to specialize him before he goes into the bucket. So I think I'll play our Sharpshooter for normal mana. Hold up Life Goes On for when it dies, gain our life, laugh about it, and then it comes back as a 1/4 Reach Flyer with training? Yeah. Mothra. Mothra makes me happy. No haste still! Please tell me they have like a haste spell that just balls out. So they're probably going to give it to the 2/3 Menacer. There's a good chance that it kills our Apprentice Sharpshooter, and if it doesn't, and it kills the Nurturer, I really don't mind. I kind of do, because I would love to Life Goes On. Unfortunate. Okay. Well, I don't take damage yet. Life will go on when that Nurturer is back on the battlefield. Draw our land. It is tapped, but we gain a life out of it. What else should we do? We need to play something else that can double block with it confidently. I'm going to play Core Celebrant. Get that life. +1 with Ajani so we can still have our engine on the battlefield. Bottom the Snowland, I guess. And wait till life goes on, because there's a good chance that they'll try and swing at our commander, even though they've shown that they don't really have much interest in it yet, which might be a bad thing. Very much so a bad thing. Still no haster, I should mention. I kind of mind losing our Nurturer. I will say we can take 2 damage, so if they swing in with the 2/3, I will take that. If they swing in with only the 7/6, they are going to be sorely displeased. Like, very, very displeased. So here's what's going to happen. Both of them, no, one of them is going to die. The Core Celebrant is going to be that one. It comes back, it gains us a life, life goes on, we gain 8 more life, go up to 36, -6.
Phyrexia's victory is imminent.
And so we play Righteous Valkyrie, give them 2 Banes, play Wilson, Bear Comrade, give them another... Oh no! They gained a 2/2! Oh gosh! How did this get flying? What? Oh wait, Mothra. How could I forget? So, we wait, we pass it back, and next turn, I believe we pack it in, because there's not much else they can do. We protect Ajani no matter what. Even if they pop off with the mana, we showed exactly what this deck needs to do. Just go wide, not be scared, have as much fun with it, go as hard onto the Ajani as possible, and, well, just win because of it. They could swing in with everything. I'm confident that if I don't block, we still just win. They didn't even want to. Oh, and the Elder Gargaroth coming into play, giving them an extra 2 mana, or not 2 mana, 2 poison counters, healing us for 1, and whenever it blocks, it just makes another creature. Of course, I'm not sure if it counts to playing creatures with Ajani's emblem, but here soon we will actually just win. Why didn't you win now? Well, I wanted to show off the Elder Gargaroth, and I wanted to play it as I have actually never been able to do so. So now we get to experience what it does together. Some of you for the first time, some of you maybe not. But, well, regardless, I don't think they can win. And that might be BM, but I feel like I'm putting on more of a show by being able to show you my, well, deck. My funny deck and the massive ego that comes with knowing that they can't do anything to it. So here we are. Get a +1 to see if we get anything else that's funny. Unfortunately, it is a land. Bottom that land and just win the video game. We go up to 40 life because of our life gain. Or, excuse me, 41 life. And we play the Priest of Ancient Lore, and that is the video game. We say good game, they die. Perfect. The sleeper win condition that no one is expecting ever. Of course, some games you will be ran down, some games people will expect it. Some games people will actually be able to put removal in their deck to deal with ajani. But when those games don't happen, by gosh, you are going to pop off with this deck as hard as possible. There is no reason why this deck should not be in Heck Q, but it isn't yet, so take advantage of it. Maybe. I've never seen Gisa, the sun's avatar. I have once, actually. We're going to keep this hand. It's unusual, but, you know, gotta let them try and win somehow. Of course, that ego of playing a very strong deck coming back into play. Esper Sentinel, you already know it's going to be a bad game. Check this out. Oh, shit. Oh! 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 Esper Sentinel is only going to matter once this game. Yes, dude! We play our cheap creatures, we pass the turn, there is not much they are going to be able to do. By the way, you can throw an Esper Sentinel into this deck, and you can win off it. For the record, counter-building the enemy is still counter-building the enemy, even if it's just that one card can show up as many times as you need it to. Ajani, we are not going to play him this turn because it'll be for 3 mana as a 2/2, or for 2. I don't really feel comfortable with that. It seems like they're just going to ramp and ramp and ramp, which is pretty cool. I believe they'll be able to play their son's avatar next turn. It has trample, it has haste. By the way, against trampling hasters, there is not much that we can actually do. So this game might very well be over already. But we are going to swing in with our 1/1, gain 1 life off of it, just so that we're put at 27. They're going to play their 7/6. We're going to tap it down immediately with our Moth Rider. What? What? Really? Are they waiting for us to play ajani? Are they... Okay. Alright. I can very politely play this game. I do not mind. I will life gain and life gain and life gain. This deck can be grindy if you need it to. And that's what it is currently, I think. Because if they play their funny thing, I tap it down. I tap it down each and every turn until I have enough mana to tap it down and play ajani. So I just wait politely. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of mana. How? Anyway, tapping it down. Don't really like the look of that. Pass prio to me, please. Thank you very much. That is not the one that you should have chosen, in my opinion. Swords to Plowshares, going on the wrong thing, gaining me more life for whatever reason. Next turn, we're just going to keep playing out our lands, tapping down their creature. There's not much they can do. They're on the verge of top decking, and we are perfectly fine with bluffing the idea that we have cards in our hand. Now let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we need 2 more turns until we can tap and play ajani. Unless we play ajani for cheaper, which is not necessarily the... no! And there it goes. I believe that that is already game. I will not be surrendering. For the sake of the video game, I accidentally made a misplay and passed priority. I don't want to block. Both of these things are very important to me. I can take, what, 15 damage? Oh. Please tell me they whiffed. They did. They whiffed everything but one. That is painful. Anyway, Swooping Protector coming in clutch. Play this. Swooping Protector was for 3? Yeah, we can still put a notch on their upkeep. No attacks. Cancel. End turn on their upkeep. Tap their commander. Try and make sure they can't do that again. Protection from blue? That's weird. Guardian Project just coming out. Their top decks have been tremendous this game. I will have to give them that, at the very, very, very least. But hey, you know, some games aren't won, some games aren't lost. You can't fret over all of them. Esper Sentinel will not be doing much. I would not have blamed them for going 5-it. You know what? Let's let them pop off with Polyraptor. I think they might enjoy that a little bit. They might put the Sleeping Protector in front. It really doesn't matter. The damage is definitely 4 and above, but Swooping Protector with the shield counter, very useful in some matchups. We're still dealt some damage. Oh wait, we're dealt enough damage to... Unfortunate. I tried to give him an extra Polyraptor. Oh. Well, some games go like that. Trample and other beatdown decks kind of beat you to it, but the moment that you play against a mid-range or a grindy deck, that's where ajani shines. Of course, you could just accept that pain and go forward with it, or make a deck that counters everything and make the perfect ajani deck, hypothetically. But this isn't the most competitive Commander show. This is the budget Commander show. Which reminds me, please hit the like and subscribe button if you really like the videos that I've been putting out. And if you don't, well, feel free to comment down in the comment section what I could do better. Stop shilling, for example, is a reasonable request. Or maybe, you know, I would have probably played this white-green commander instead of ajani. Both of those are, I will be more than willing to read through, as when there are comments on my videos, I try my best to read through them all. Now, unfortunately, we will be taking a little bit of an L with our tapped lands. You know what? No, I don't. I'll swing in for 1 to show dominance, to show that I am the winner. But next turn, maybe we kick? No, kicking is very expensive. It seems like they're going for some sort of endgame deck or Ultron deck. Let's try and meet it with a good response. With a fine response, excuse me. Play our Snare Spinner. Hold on to the Cleric for now. Swing in for 1. And just continue with this unusual board state that they let us have. Kind of fully expected that. And that's why we will meet them in kind, with a really good, underrated, legendary card from Baldur's Gate, Rasad. doing the equivalent of Brutal Cathar and packing up the game for us instantly. Rasad can win you so much. You just have to respect that monk of Saloon and wherever he goes with his specialized options. We'll claim the prize, get a crew captain, think about using it. I was never preferable to that card. And go back into one last game of Historic Wrong today. I am feeling mighty awesome. This deck has put me in a lot better of a queue than the Pilgrimage deck, and I feel like test driving it once or twice before I decided to record the video might have definitely helped with that. Another Gishath Sun's avatar. Now, I'm going to make the assumption... Ooh. Can we? Ooh, Temptation. The Temptation. Because I feel like they might have a really strong board state. But if we can Rasad away their commander and hold onto it... it might be a really good game. I was thinking about conceding because, you know, you've seen this matchup, you know how it goes with the way that this deck is built, but we might be able to highlight a little bit of what this deck can hypothetically do. We're going to play out our Cave of the Frost Dragon, as unlike the channel lands from Kamigawa, you want to play them as soon as possible. They'll play their tapped land. That is awesome for me. I am happy with that. Let's play our Gala Greeters from the Streets of New Capenna. A wonderful card that is almost like the Innkeeper from... what's it called? Adventures in the Forgotten Realms, but different in ability, a max on what it can do, but it fits in certain decks, and fortunately in this deck we can have one copy of both, which I am more than willing to do. Next turn, we might play our Inspiring Overseer, make a tapped treasure token, It seems they missed their land, which is absolutely wonderful for us. Let's make the tapped treasure token, not worry about swinging in with our Gala Greeters, just not do that 1 damage, you know? In my opinion, if you can play better or friendlier, then always do it. This turn, we play our Ajani with the mana that we have. With actual mana that we didn't need to ramp for, we don't need to worry about a threat. He +1s, goes to 5. He +1s, goes to 5. And is already close to ultimating. And ultimating with this hand? Ooh, Ajani might just win us the game before Gishath will be able to come down. And even if they do, we have an answer, an immediate answer. That mana tithe counter. Huh. Interesting. White does have a counter spell. That's awesome. White decks, if you didn't know about mana tithe, think about it. Don't add it immediately. Think about it. Because that 1 mana, pay 1 counterspell. Hell, Juari is a 2 mana, pay 1 counterspell, and I don't run that because I think it sucks. Enters the battlefield, it names Dinosaur, that's Finasaur. We do our +1. Bottom the land because we don't need it anymore. Play our dual land. Let's see, can we play this? We can't play this. Play our 4/1 Reach Ranger. Create a tapped treasure token. Create a wolf. Gain 2 life because we are on a long game deck. Not a beatdown sort of strategy. We are on the long-term strategy. And that is wonderful. They are not at a point where they can... Alrighty. Anyway, We are going to minus ajani since we're not going to take any future risks. Take action to return him to the command zone. Play our Lulu Forgetful Hollyphant. Give them 2 pain. Gain a 2 life, and that is already value that they can't deal with. That is wonderful. You know what? That game was so fast, I might do one last one. But that's Ajani. That is Ajani, the sleeper win condition. That will just win you historic brawl games. Not because he's good, not because he'll beat them up before they can do anything about it, but because in 90% of the games where they need time, Ajani will win you the game. Now it seems like with this last game, we have unfortunately been put into that heck queue, as Goshen Tai is known for being the entry point to it. But hey, maybe you might get away with some other stuff. Maybe you can make a better Ajani deck than I do. And if you can do that, then please, please, please feel free to. Fortunately, because they're on shrines, we're going to pray that they did not draw any red shrines just yet. Because if they did not, then we are winning. We are winning pretty hard. Swing in for 1 because it's a shrines deck. We need to act like we're on some sort of life gain beatdown strategy that goes wide with Ajani so that they get the idea, hey, Ajani's just going to be there to... I don't need those. You can have it. You can have that. Play our Ajani. Press done. +1. Get Rasad. Rasad is awesome. No attacks. Hold back. The 0-4 doesn't do any damage. Let's hope they don't run enchantments to change that. If they play a shrine and continue to play passively, that is awesome for us. Let's hope they do. Or just... Yes! Hold up that 1 mana so that they can mill us for 1 with Goshen Tai. Will they swing in for 0 to show dominance? They will not. So they have no dominance. They have no... a gaming video game. We will mill for 1 and mill a Wandering Emperor, act like we're sad about it, go, oh, oops, to be like, oh no, I'm so sad. Play our, no, +1 Ajani. Get a wonderful 2 mana. Play Rasad so that they can get a little bit less value off of their next shrine, and if they don't have a shrine, then that is awesome. Hold back our small mana plays for the next turn when Ajani eventually gets to -6 or Emblem. Now we wait for them politely for their turn. They might play Goshen Tai with an extra land, and I suppose they read what our commander does. So unfortunately, that is all the games and time that I have for today with Ajani, the sleeper win condition. I hope you all appreciated the video. Honestly, even though I never got to play Titan of Industry, it is still a strong card, but let's do a piece down. What really won us the game? Because there are 3 cards that come to my mind when I imagine what won us the game. There's the Lunarch Veteran. There is, the Scaled Nurturer, and then there's Rasad. Where is he? Rasad. And for the record, Rasad can specialize, so when he dies, he doesn't give back... Oh wait, no, he does. Well, he can specialize regardless to give you a bonus whenever he dies. And, well, all of these other cards, yeah, all of them have equal opportunity to do awesome. Like the Flyers, that kind of protected us and were bodies if we ever wanted to put counters on them. But we never really got to explore the Modify archetype, so you can always take that out, run a more solidified, single-focused Ajani deck. But that'll be all for today. I hope you all enjoyed, And don't worry, I did not forget. We are going to open the packs that we can have today. Fortunately, we can buy 2 of them. Yeah, I know, kind of crazy. But we're going to open them both today because I feel like together we were able to experience a really, really solid deck. So here's the first pack. Hoping to get very specific things. I already have one of these. It goes to the vault. Battle Rage Blessing, kind of cool. Tattered Apparition, maybe later. Join Forces, awesome, kind of wanted one. Resolute Reinforcements, Keldon Flame Sage, look at the top. Doesn't really look interesting, but I'm sure a lot of people can already make amazing decks off of that. Let's open up the next pack, and let's see what we get. Not many new things. Knight of Dawn's Light. Pretty interesting, helpful. Maybe we should add it into our deck. Combat Research, a lovely card that will just give you card advantage. Snare Spider, okay. Toxic Abomination, not my favorite. Shadow Prophecy, okay. Phyrexian Vivisector, awesome. And another Danitha, which might be pretty good. So thank you all for showing up. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you next video. Take care.